Hi, my name is Gus Baxter. I am the owner of Atlas Readings LLC, an intuitive life coaching company. Today, I want to talk to you about my ebook, Tarot Journaling, a beginner's reference for guided journaling. Tarot journaling is a guided practice that turns your journal into a treasured companion. This is an exercise in self-coaching. So you are playing both the role of the coach and the client. And I think that is a powerful exercise in and of itself. Today, I'm going to lead you through the guided questions technique, which makes use of your imagination, your intuition, and the images on the cards in front of you to create powerful questions. And these questions are meant to challenge you. They're meant to lead you to deeper levels of understanding. The tools you're going to need are a journal and a deck of tarot cards. I like writing things out longhand, so I keep a collection of journals and a collection of fountain pens. Maybe a digital experience is more your speed. There are plenty of journaling apps that you can use, and even something as simple as a Word doc on your computer will work just fine. As long as you're creating a space that is going to be private, that you feel comfortable having open and judgment-free conversations in. The next thing you're going to need is a tarot deck. I am using the Rider-Waite deck. This is a pretty universal deck, and you can find it in just about any bookstore. What's important about the tarot deck that you choose, besides that it's from an artist that you like or it has images that you really resonate with, is that it has images on what are called the pip cards. And these are in the suits of coins, cups, wands, and swords, and they run from ace to king. These are more similar to a deck of playing cards. Cards that are from the Rider-Waite deck or from decks that are modeled after this style have pictures on these cards. Other decks will just have a collection of suits and numbers. So instead of having a picture of the Four of Swords, the card will just have 4 swords on it. Because this technique pulls a lot from the images in front of you, the more image-heavy deck you have, the better. You can also have a digital tarot deck. Tarot journaling could be a totally digital experience for you, if that's what you want. There are plenty of apps to choose from that'll give you a tarot deck right on your phone. The same rules apply though. You need to have a deck that has a lot of images, especially on these pip cards. Let's talk technique. The guided questions technique starts with drawing a card. Then you're going to ask yourself a series of questions that are all outlined in the ebook, and you're going to pull these impressions together and you're going to form a question. So you're going to start by exploring the card and looking at the characters. Who are the characters in this scene? Look behind them. What's in the background? Describe that. Come back to the foreground. What do the characters share the scene with? What do you think these characters are doing? What do you think these characters might be thinking or saying? After investigating this image in front of you, what stands out to you? Why do you think that's important? And finally, what feeling do you get when you look at this card? All of these impressions will be collected at the end, and you can use them to generate a powerful question. Let's do one together. I am going to pull up the Six of Cups. What characters are in this scene? I see 2 children, one older and one younger. What makes up the background? There are stone houses and a stone tower, a stone road with a man walking on it holding a spear. What objects do the characters share the scene with? So now I'm coming back to the foreground, and I see that they are sharing the scene with 6 cups or 6 pots full of flowers. What are they doing? The older of the 2 is giving a flower to the younger one. They are sharing flowers, even if they need to be a little quiet so they don't rouse attention from the man in the background. What might they be saying or thinking? The older one may be saying, "Here, take this and go straight home." And the younger one obeys, not understanding that maybe they shouldn't be taking this in the first place. What stands out to me, and why is that important? I'm drawn to the colors of their hoods, the red and the orange, and I think that that signifies their maturity levels or their age. And finally, what is the general feeling that I get when I look at this card? And I feel very sweet and nostalgic. So if I were to pull all of these impressions together, I would ask myself, when did I trust someone, or maybe focus on my expectation of who they could be or who I imagined them to be, only to be disappointed later? How does this memory color my present? Are there any relationships or situations that I'm in right now that are being affected by this memory? And that is the kind of powerful question that you can create. It's a little heavy, it's challenging, it asks you to take a critical look at yourself and your life, but that is when you can get to deeper levels of understanding and start a healing process. So now that we know how to create a powerful question, let's talk about how to use them. I'm going to give you 3 practical applications for tarot journaling. The first one is that before you even start journaling, before you put pen to paper, you pull up a tarot card, you run through these questions, and you create a powerful question to act as your prompt for that entire journaling session. The second option is what I like to call discovery writing. This is my preferred method, and I use this just about every day. I'll start journaling freehand, talking about what's going on in my life, what's happening, things that are bothering me, situations that I'm experiencing, and I'll be on the lookout for themes or situations that keep repeating themselves, or maybe it's obsessive thoughts, or things that I could have said differently or done differently. I'm going to use those as a cue that now I can take a tarot card, run through these questions, ask myself a powerful question, and dig into why this keeps coming up for me. Why is it important? What lesson am I trying to learn here? The third option is what I call a travel journal. I'm using travel a little differently. I don't necessarily mean going somewhere, though you could use it that way. I'm talking more about being on a journey. And so this journal would be something specific that you would only write in for that specific journey. And you would use tarot cards and tarot and the guided questions technique to explore how this journey is changing you, how you're growing, what are you learning, why is that important to you, what things do you want to let go of and leave behind, what does that mean then for you and your future? When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I worked as an anthropologist. I studied biological anthropology in undergrad, and my specialty was osteology, study of the human skeletal system. It was one thing to learn about skeletons and taphonomy and what happens to your body after you die in decomposition in class. It was something totally different to be out excavating skeletons, to be working at decomposition research facilities, to be working at the medical examiner's office. And having a journal that was just for anthropologists, this was different from my sort of everyday diary. Just having an anthropology journal where I could talk about these things, express the way I was feeling, and use tarot cards and guided questions to really dig into these heavy topics made the world of difference for me. So tarot journaling and guided questions are yours now. You are free to use these techniques however you want. You can try using the 3 applications that I suggested, or see how this may fit into how you already practice. There is no wrong way to use this technique. If you have any questions, send me a DM. I would love to talk to you. And if you've been using tarot journaling and you're enjoying it, also send me a DM. I would love to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow we're going to do a Q&A, so keep your eyes out for a post where you can submit your questions. I look forward to talking to you. See ya.